Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy, and if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put the notification bell to be notified when I upload new tutorials. So in our previous tutorial, I showed you the simplest method in cutting and sewing a shirt top, but in today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make a shirt sleeve. So we need two essential measurements to achieve this sleeve. We need the sleeve length measurements and the round sleeve measurements. So for the measurement taken here, when the sleeve length is 9 inches, the round sleeve should be 11. And when the sleeve length is 16 inches, the round sleeve is 10 inches. And when the sleeve length is 23 inches, the round sleeve is 8 inches. So let's get started. The fabric is folded into two. The first step is to roll the starting line of the sleeve. Now I'll place my tape vertically from the starting line to mark the cap sleeve. So the cap sleeve line I'm working with is 4 inches. 4 inches as the cap sleeve line because I don't want the armhole curve to be too deep or too high. The next line will be the sleeve length, which is 9 inches. The next line after that is the sleeve length when it's 16 inches. And the next line should be the sleeve length when it's on 23 inches. But because I'm going to be adding a 2 inches band, which is the cuff of the sleeve, I have to subtract about 2 inches from the full length of the sleeve. So if I'm to subtract 2 inches from the 23 inches, that will be 21 inches. But I can't just rule a 21 inches line because by the time I attach it at the top and at the bottom, it becomes 20 inches. So let me just add extra 1 inch to that as the sleeve length allowance, and that will be 22 inches. The next step is to take the armhole measurement of the shirt. So the round armhole measurement is 9 inches. Since the round armhole is 9 inches, I'm going to place my tape on the cap sleeve line to mark 9 inches. Now I'll connect this 9-inch point to the tip of the starting line as shown. The next step is to get the midpoint of the slant line. The slant line measurement now is 10 inches. The midpoint will be 5 inches. Now I'll connect the tip of the starting line to the midpoint by raising it above the slant line to 1/4 of an inch. And I'll also connect the midpoint to the armhole measurements by going below the slant line to 1/4 of an inch. The next step is to place the round sleeve measurement. So when the length of the sleeve is 9 inches, the round sleeve is 11 inches. So on the 9 inches line, I'm going to place 11 inches divided by 2. And when the sleeve is 16 inches in length, the round sleeve is 10 inches. So I'm going to divide 10 inches by 2. When the sleeve length is 23 inches, the round sleeve is 8 inches divided by 2. So after getting the exact sleeve measurement, the next step is to mark the sleeve allowances at the side. I used 2 inches for the side allowances, but you can also use 1.5 inches. It just depends on how loose you want the sleeve to be. After cutting this single sleeve, I placed it on the folded fabric to cut out the second sleeve. So I have both sleeves on each other. Before separating them, I'm going to notch the exact measurements for the sleeve opening as shown. When making a shirt sleeve, you need to be very careful, and you know that the fabric I'm using, you might not really see the chalk on it, so kindly pay attention while I explain how this will be done. So this is a single sleeve here, and these are the notched parts of the sleeve opening. So this is the right side of the fabric. I'm using the right side because I also do not want to get confused. I placed my tape on the left side of the notched parts to mark 2.5 inches from there. So the distance between this point I chalked to this notched part is 2.5 inches. And I also want the slit length to be 4 inches long. The next step is to open the slit. So remember that this is for the first sleeve. For the second sleeve, I'll be making a slit placket. So this is the right side of the fabric and these are the two notched parts. To get the width of the slit, I'll mark 2.5 inches from the right part I notched. And the slit length is also 4 inches. So the difference between the first sleeve and the second sleeve is that the slit placements are on different sides. So to be sure that we're on the right track, I placed the sleeve opposite each other and you can see that the slit placement is actually different. Alright guys, so let me show you how the sleeve should be sewn, and after that you can use this method to achieve the other sleeve. So this slit is going to have a placket. As you can see that this side is shorter than the other side. For the placket, it will be attached at the larger side of the slit. So since the slit length is 4 inches, I made a placket length of 6 inches. That is, I added extra 2 inches to that 4 inches and that gave me 6 inches. Now the width of the placket is 2.5 inches. This little fabric I cut out here is about 5 inches long and the width is 2 inches. I'm going to be folding the edges by half an inch in, and I'll further fold it into 2 as shown. And this little piece will be called the banding. This banding is going to be placed on the small side of the sleeve as shown by inserting this little part of the slit in between the banding. Now I'll take this to the sewing machine to secure the edges of the banding as shown. You can decide to pin the banding on the slit so it stays stable while sewing. Now I'm going to secure the edge of the banding, making sure that it also holds the back of the band with just a single straight stitch. So the next step is to attach the placket. To achieve this, I'm going to flip the sleeve to the wrong side of the fabric. Recall that the placket is 2 inches longer than the slit. Now I'll place the placket on the large side of the slit, making sure that the lower part of the placket is equal to the hem of the sleeve as shown. Now at this point where the sleeve begins, I'm going to sew a straight stitch down to the end of the slit. The next step is to flip the sleeve to the right side of the fabric. Now I'm going to pull the placket over to the right side of the fabric. Now I'm going to fold the edge of the placket by ½ inch, and to fold this placket into two, making sure it covers the placket seam. And I also made sure that it covered the banding below the placket. The next step is to secure the edges of the placket. And before getting to the top of the placket, you should fold this edge in by ½ inch to secure the edges. So this is all for the plackets. Now I'll fold the sleeve into two to secure the side by 1 inch. After securing the side, the next step is to make the cuff. So this is the piece I'll be using for the cuff. Remember that the length of the band I deducted from the sleeve is 2 inches. Simply means that the height of the cuff is 2 inches. I folded this fabric into two to cut out 2.5 inches. So by the time I attach it to the sleeve, it becomes a 2 inches band. Now to get the width of the band, I took a wrist measurement. A wrist measurement is 8 inches, but I made the band to be 9 inches long because of the sewing allowance at the side. Since the band is folded into two, I'm going to unfold it to place a gum stay on one side of the band. To make the sewing easy, I'm going to trim out 1/4 inch from both sides of the band. After I gummed the gum stay on the fabric, I folded the wrong side of the fabric into two. To secure the band, you should fold this edge in with the gum stay by ½ inch to secure it with a straight stitch, and to secure the other side with a straight stitch. Now I'm going to take this to the sewing machine to show you how it's done. After securing the sides, you should turn the cuff to the right side of the fabric. Next step is to take the measurements of the sleeve opening. The measurement here is 10 inches. This simply means that the sleeve opening is wider than the cuff. And for the sleeve opening to fit into the cuff, we need to make some little pleats on the hem of the sleeve. To attach the cuff to the sleeve opening, I'm going to place the side without the gum stay on the wrong side of the sleeve opening to attach together. So at this point, I could see that I need to make some little pleats for the sleeve opening to fit into the cuff. The final step is to close the cuff opening by securing the edges of the cuff as shown. So the final step is to fix the sleeve buttons and the buttonhole. The buttons will be tacked on the banding, while the buttonhole will be done on the placket. Obviously, I've secured both sleeves and I attached them to the armhole of the shirt. If you'd like to learn how I made these simple shirts, I'll be dropping the link in the description box. Finally, to attach the sleeve to the shirt, make sure that the placket slit is on the back side of the sleeve as shown. Alright guys, thanks for watching to the very end. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if you are new to my channel, my name is Nancy. Kindly subscribe, share and like my videos, and also put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos.